So, Liz, how does it feel to have your very own island out here in the middle of nowhere? Oh, I don't believe this. I'm supposed to be on vacation. Hello, Magic School Bus. Producer speaking.
Hello. I just saw your show on volcanoes, and I've got to tell you, it was unbelievable.
I know.
It takes a lot longer than a few minutes for a volcano to grow from an undersea mountain to an island. And it probably took thousands of years for that mountain to get as big as it was.
Exactly. But hey, we've only got a half an hour to tell the story.
I gotcha. And I totally bought the connection between the erupting volcano and the making of an island.
Great. Then you knew that a volcano in the sea was just like a volcano on land.
No, but I do now. There's no fire in a volcano, only heat, so the water can't put it out, right?
You got it.
But not all volcanoes form where a plate gets pushed down into the crust.
They don't?
Some volcanoes form where plates pull apart. And others are just over hot spots in the crust.
Okay, so maybe you didn't believe the part where the kids got so close to the volcano.
Oh, come on. It's television. We all know real kids don't go inside volcanoes or hang around on rafts when they're erupting. No way.
I guess not. So what is it you found so unbelievable?
That Liz just so happened to have a flag on her when she landed on the new island.
That is pretty unbelievable. But don't forget, Liz isn't your ordinary lizard. Good evening.
Is this the Magic School Bus?
You found us. We're just wrapping up things here at the castle. I'm the producer. How can I help you?
Cool. I have some questions about your show on bats. I'm hung up on a few things.
You're not the only one. What's on your mind?
First of all, if vampires aren't real, how come everybody's always talking about them and putting them in books, movies, and TV shows like yours?
Because the idea of vampires is scary, and people like to be scared by make-believe monsters.
Okay, next question. How come there was only one kind of bat on your show? There are almost 1,000 different kinds, you know.
You're right, more than almost any other kind of mammal, and they live all over the world.
And though most of them eat insects, some eat pollen, nectar, fruit, frogs, fish, other bats, and even lizards. Bet no one told Liz that, huh?
Well, those kind of bats were banned from the set, and we had very tight security.
Yeah, another thing. The only bat sounds we can hear are the squeaks bats make when they communicate. And we really can't hear the sounds bats use to echolocate. They're too high-pitched for us to hear.
Hey, give us a break. You know, if we didn't use a little movie magic, you wouldn't have understood how they worked.
Okay, I'll give you that one. But here's something I don't think you wanted to mention. There are 3 kinds of bats that do feed on blood.
Yes, but they're only called vampire bats because the people who named them had heard make-believe vampire stories.
Not only that, vampire bats don't even suck blood. They make a tiny cut in the animal and lap up the blood that comes out.
Well, that's true, but bats don't really bother people. How come you know so much about bats anyway?
Well, what do you think? You're the only ones who know anything about the creatures of the night? I'm just kidding. Did I scare you?
Who, me? Oh, no. TV producers don't fall for that kind of stuff. Thanks for calling.
Hello? Hello? Is this the Magic School Bus?
Yes, this is the producer speaking.
Well, I'm from GMM, and I'm steamed.
GMM?
The Great Moth Majority. I just saw your butterfly show. And from what I saw, you don't seem to know that there are more different kinds of moths than butterflies.
I do know that.
But you didn't give them equal time.
We hardly had time to cover butterflies properly.
Well, moths and butterflies don't just have eye spots for surprise, you know.
If you say so.
When a bird tries to catch a moth or a butterfly, it goes for the eyes. And if it goes for the eye spots, all it gets is a beak full of wing.
Believe me, I put a moth in the show. If I could only catch one.
Catch one? That reminds me. Janet running around trying to catch a butterfly with a net was insensitive and an inappropriate field study.
Yes, but that's Janet's character. Insensitive and inappropriate.
That doesn't excuse improper behavior. Moths and butterflies should be left alone.
You're right.
By the way, butterflies aren't only found in the swamp. You can find them almost anywhere.
Right again. You can find them in the forest, the desert, the mountains, in a shoe.
In a shoe? I don't know about a shoe. But I do know when the great moth majority is done with you. You'll probably be looking for another job.
Funny you should mention that. I'm trying out for another job right now.
And what would that be?
Network producer. Gotcha. Magic School Bus, the producer speaking.
Glad you're still there. I have some questions about the show I just saw on water.
Look, I'm really kind of busy now. Can you call back tomorrow?
This won't take long. I just want to know who you think you're kidding. Kids can't turn into water.
We know that. We just wanted the kids to behave like water, not be water.
And kids can't evaporate either. And they can't become clouds or condense into raindrops.
Listen, we weren't trying to fool anybody. Everything the kids in the show did, water can do, and does. Thanks for your question. Is this you again?
No, this is another kid. I have a question about the water cycle.
Water collects, evaporates, condenses,
And rains. I know. But you made it seem like it happens in a few minutes. Sometimes the water cycle can take weeks or years.
You're right. And water frozen into a glacier can take as many as 10,000 years before it melts again.
Which reminds me, my mother keeps telling me to conserve water, but 2/3 of the Earth's surface is water. So how can we ever run out?
We won't. While there's plenty of water in the world, it's not always where we want it, when we want it. In fact, only a tiny part of the Earth's water is drinkable.
Really?
That's right. So we have to watch how we use it and be careful not to waste it.
So how come nobody said anything to Arnold for forgetting to turn off the water?
Hey, haven't you ever forgotten to turn off the water?
Sure, but that doesn't make it okay.
I agree. And I promise you Arnold will never do it again.
I heard that one leaky faucet can waste several gallons of water a day.
That's true.
By the way, you never explained how a cloud snows.
Well, you'll just have to watch our show on weather to find out the answer to that. Thanks for calling. Come on, Liz, let's go home. It's been a long day. Magic School Bus, producer speaking.
Hi, I just watched your show on microbes. I have a couple of questions.
Are they little questions?
No, but I'll be short.
Okay, you win. What's your question?
First of all, since people can't really shrink, how can anyone get close enough to a microbe to see what it looks like?
The only way is through a microscope, which makes things appear hundreds and thousands of times bigger than they really are. Take water, for example. Under a microscope, you can see all sorts of things in water you didn't know were there.
Like what?
Well, you might see Trichomonas, Spirogyra, Fragillaria, Anabina, or even Sonora.
So a microbe is any tiny organism that you need a microscope to see, right?
You got it.
Well, how many microbes would you have to pile on top of each other before you could see them with your naked eye?
Oh, millions. But when they do pile up like that, that's when you see them, like with mildew and mold.
And what about germs? Those are microbes that can make you sick, right?
That's true, but that doesn't mean all microbes are bad. In fact, most are harmless. We just called them crooks in the show to make it a mystery. Some microbes even help us out.
You mean like the ones that saved Keisha's cucumber?
Exactly. Now, some microbes even make the holes in Swiss cheese.
You're kidding.
Nope. Others, like bacteria, change milk into yogurt and sour cream. And yeasts are microbes that help make breads and pizza dough.
Cool. I love pizza.
I like pizza too, but I'm afraid you'll have to call back for your order. We have a small problem. Thanks for your questions. Oh, hey, Liz. If you ever get that down, I'll take 1 pizza to go, cheese, tomatoes, some paramecium, a handful of lactobacters. Oh, and oh yeah, go easy on the fungus. Magic School Bus, the producer speaking.
Hi, I just watched a show on engines. It was a real blast. Only one question. Do you really expect us to believe that Miss Frizzle and her class could stay alive inside a real engine when it's running? It's more than 3,000 degrees in there.
We know that. It was just our way of showing you how an engine works up close and personal. Thanks for calling. Magic School Bus.
Is this the producer?
At your service. What can I do for you?
About your engine show. Peanut butter's a pretty silly way to stop an engine from working.
Silly maybe, but it sure would gum up the works.
Then why didn't they use gum?
Thanks for calling. Why didn't I think of that? Magic School Bus.
Glad you're still there. My dad's a vehicle maintenance inspector, and he told me gasoline is extremely dangerous. Neither kids nor adults should ever play with it.
You're right, and Dorothy Ann told the kids that when they were inside the cylinder.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Well, that's okay, you can't be told that often enough. Hold on a sec. Be careful with that gasoline, Liz. Any other questions?
Well, aren't there a lot more pieces to an engine than you mentioned in your show?
Oh, a lot. Like the radiator to keep the engine from getting too hot, and the battery that makes the spark plug spark. But we can only show so many in a 30-minute program. Would you mind calling back? Liz! Hey, Liz! Turn that thing off! I can't hear! Magic School Bus. Producer speaking. Magic School Bus, the producer speaking.
Hi. I just watched your show on flight, and it really blew me away. But I do have a few questions.
Roger.
My name isn't Roger.
Well, I'm not saying it is. Roger is just another way of saying right or okay in pilot lingo.
Gotcha. Now about those planes the bus turned into. They were ridiculous. Nobody could have ever flown them.
Well, believe it or not, those were real planes. Now, sure, the first 2 didn't get off the ground, but the Wright Flyer was the first airplane to actually fly.
Okay, well, I mean, Roger. Here's something for you. Steering a bird or a plane is a lot more complicated than you showed.
You got that right. Take airplanes for openers. They have movable flaps on the wings as well as on the tail. Raise one flap up and the other one down, and the wing rises for a banking turn to the right. Reverse the flaps and the plane will bank to the left.
Oh, I get it. But here's something I don't get. How does a bird fly?
Good question. The movement of a bird's wing is so complicated, it took stop-motion photography to figure it out. Birds use their wings both for lift and for push forwards.
Roger. But you didn't say anything about the hardest part of flying, landing.
Well, we showed it, but we didn't talk about it. To land, you have to slow down and fly close to the ground. Reduce your lift so you slowly sink until your wheels touch the ground. Then cut the power and apply the brakes. But landing isn't always easy. Even birds mess up once in a while. Lizards, too. Hey, thanks for calling the Magic School Bus. Keep watching and keep 'em flying. Magic School Bus, the producer here.
Just the person I wanted. I'm from the SPCR,
What's the SPCR?
the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Reality.
Uh-oh.
I mean, running a Ferris wheel with falling rocks, that's ridiculous.
Well, true. Machines that run on the energy of falling rocks probably aren't a good idea. If your dishwasher ran on falling rocks, you might not have many dishes.
So why didn't the kids just use wind power? Or water power? Or solar power directly to run the Ferris wheel?
Because the wind, water, and solar energy they needed was on the other side of the mountain. So they used that energy to move the rocks so the rocks could move the Ferris wheel.
Are you saying there wasn't enough wind, water, or solar energy where the Ferris wheel was?
Exactly. There are lots of different sources of energy, but unless you can harness them and move the energy to your machine, you can't use it.
Seems to me moving energy can be dangerous and shouldn't be done carelessly.
That's a good point. Energy is powerful, and power can be dangerous if you don't know how to use it.
Okay, that's cool. And the SPCR doesn't mind a little reality bashing in the name of education. But there are limits.
Go ahead, I'm sitting down. What's the problem?
You really expect us to believe that Mikey had the power to actually knock the bell clear off the hammer slammer?
Listen, just between us, we had a story conference about that, and it was Miss Frizzle's idea.
You mean Ms. Frizzle is real?
Well, she does have her moments, but you didn't hear it from me. Okay, thanks for calling. Bye. Hit the speakerphone, Liz.
Hello? Is this the Magic School Bus?
Radio, you're talking to the producer. You have a question?
Yes. I just saw your show on meteors and asteroids, and I want to know if an asteroid could really destroy my school.
Well, meteorites have hit our planet in the past and caused some problems, like the one scientists believe made the dinosaurs extinct. But it only happens once in a very great while.
That's cool. Well, thanks.
Magic School Bus.
Hi, my question is about the comet. Can you really melt one?
Sure. Comets melt whenever their orbit takes them too close to the sun. But if you wanted to melt one from here on Earth, you'd need a pretty big mirror. Thanks for calling. Magic School Bus.
Yes, this is NASA calling. I understand you were trying to reach us?
Well, actually, yes. And no. The kids on the show were trying to reach you.
Understood. FYI, we all saw your show, liked it.
Really?
However, for the future, not all asteroids are made of metal.
Well, we know that. But some are made of iron and nickel, and those are magnetic, correct?
Affirmative. And some are made of stone, and magnets don't stick to those. Let's just make that clear, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
And another thing, it would have taken weeks for the asteroid to reach the sun. You made it seem like it could happen in seconds.
Well, we had to fake it. I mean, you see, our show is less than 30 minutes long. What could we do?
Yes, well, by the way, I apologize for leaving your kids on hold for so long, but here at the Space Center, things have a way of piling up. If you know what I mean.
Hey, Magic School Bus, the producer speaking. You have a question?
I just watched your show on cold-blooded animals, and do you really expect us to believe that there's such a thing as a spa for reptiles?
Oh, no, of course not. I mean, we just made it up so we can show what it's like to be cold-blooded.
Does being cold-blooded mean reptiles are always cold?
No, not at all. It just means that they move from place to place to warm up or cool down. Not that they're cold all the time or that they have cold blood. And all of the Herbst Haven staff are trained professionals, and you'd never do to reptiles what they did. It'd be too dangerous. Amphibians like frogs and toads, as well as fish and insects, are also cold-blooded. Now, believe it or not, mammals and birds are the only animals that keep warm from within.
Do all reptiles do things like look for shade and sunlight to keep themselves at the right temperature?
They have to. While they can tell when their temperature is getting too hot or too cold, they don't have an automatic heating or cooling system inside like we do.
I get it. When it gets colder or warmer outside, cold-blooded creatures get colder or warmer inside.
Spoken like a true herp lover.
But what happens if they get too cold or too hot?
Ah, good question. Normally, reptiles try to avoid getting into that situation. Now, if for some reason it gets too cold around them and they can't move to a warmer place, they might bury themselves under leaves or find shelter underground, kind of like hibernating.
I see. So what about Liz?
First of all, you have to remember that Liz is a magical lizard. Second of all, she'll do anything she can to make her life easier and more comfortable. So if I know Liz, she'll do everything possible to add a warm-blooded lifestyle to her cold-blooded life. And as Miss Frizzle said, nothing makes a herp as happy as when the temperature's just right.
Major funding for the Magic School Bus is provided by the National Science Foundation, supporting education and research in science, mathematics, and technology. And Microsoft Home supports the Magic School Bus and other programs that further learning, exploration, and discovery. Additional funding is provided by U.S. Department of Energy and Carnegie Corporation of New York.
And by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and the annual financial support of viewers like you.
Visit your local library and read more about science in the Magic School Bus and other science books.